5 years ago, guys, today, I was somewhere that I had no business being, all right? I don't know if you've ever been in a place in your life where you felt like everything was the same. I don't know if you've ever been in a place in your life where things were redundant, all right? And you got to a point where you just couldn't take any more, all right? You got to a point where you said, this is getting old, where you got to a point where you said, this is a little bit, it's not doing it for me anymore, all right? Well, guys, 5 years ago, that's where I was on this, on this exact day, all right? I was at a party, all right? And I was thinking to myself, what am I doing here? Why am I here? What can these people do for me? Do they know who I am? Why am I here? All right? And the Lord is good. I saw a photo, all right, that my cell phone reminded me of today that happened 5 years ago, all right? Hence my thinking, all right? Hence this video, all right? So guys, if you are in a place right now in your life where you are feeling redundant, where you are feeling this disconnect, then this video's for you. All right, I am Do Re Mi Lo, and on my channel we are all here because we are walking in change. All right, we are walking in growth. All right, so on my channel we are here to grow up and glow up with the Lord, one step at a time. And if that's a decision that you've made to do, then honey, you are home. All right, you found your channel where you are going to excel and go to higher heights. So welcome home. But let's get back into my story. All right, 5 years ago, I was at a party that I had no business being there. All right, I was fresh out of a relationship. I was closer to God than ever. And for some reason, there's some bad habits that we have, guys, where it's hard to break. All right, I don't know what that bad habit is for you, but don't tell me that you don't have one, because we all have one, and some of us have a couple. Well, my bad habit was parties. All right, I loved a good party. I loved a good clubbing night. All right, I loved a good kickback. I loved a good lounge. All right, and I know some people might say there's nothing wrong with that, but there is. If you have answered the call to the Lord, there's no need for you to be in a place where darkness, all right, literally originates and grows, all right, and literally goes out after people. Because in those places that I've just named that I used to love was darkness, all right, was a lot of demons, all right? There was a lot of people that I've even come into interaction with and communicating with that I should have never met in my life, all right? There was some things that I seen that I never should have seen, all right? So I am letting you know that there's no place for God's children, all right, to be in an area where there is darkness, okay? So there's something wrong, all right? If you are connected to the Lord, but you are still drawn to parties or a good club, all right? But like I said, God be praised, I know that you are where I once was. And so at this time, when I was at this event, I knew something had clicked. I knew that where I was, I could not do this anymore. It was not feeding me. I was not feeling fulfilled, and I felt literally confused. I literally felt like, why am I here? I remember that night, a couple of gentlemen walking up to me and, you know, saying like, hey, what's your name, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just looking at them in a daze like, why am I here? All right, so it's safe to say that nobody got my number that night because I didn't know why I was there. But you know what? God knew that I would need a certain amount of times, all right, of different situations, different scenarios, all right? And also God needed time to what? Remove that taste, all right? To remove that desire that I had, all right, for these places that were not of Him. Because what happens with bad habits is you might start out doing something that it's not really something that you planned to do. Maybe your friend took you somewhere for one time, all right? Maybe your friend offered you something and you tried something one time. Guys, it only takes one time to develop a taste for something that was never designed for you. All right. So the one time I went out, it led to years of reveling. All right. Like the Lord would call it. All right. Partying, where, like I said, there's no need for that. It's literal nonsense, because you know what happens? And I have to be transparent. A lot of times we like to go out because we maybe, you might have a problem and you feel like, hey, I'm escaping the problem because I'm out and I'm having, the time of my life. And when the music hits, I forget about my worries. All right. I forget about my troubles. And just for a little while, I am focused on this moment. I am in the moment. I am loving the DJ. I am loving the tunes. I am loving the environment. I am loving the attention. And you know what? If you're drinking, then it just kind of takes it to another level. All right. It's amplified. But what is crazy, guys, is that when you leave that space and you go back home, everything that you thought that you left on that dance floor comes rushing back. All right. And so this is why I am saying that there's certain things that we tried one time and we were never supposed to enter into that. And then what happens is we got gripped. All right. And now this became us. Now we are being held by this bad habit. Now we have developed a taste, all right, and a liking and a desire, and now we have to feed it. All right. So I began to go out to more parties, all right, go out to more kickbacks, go out to more lounges. And before I knew it, my life became work, sleep, school, party, church. And that was my life. All right. And so I thank God, because today I am not where I used to be. And I'm thanking God because I can reflect today and see that 5 years ago was the last time that I ever stepped foot in a party. Do you hear me? That was the last time. God be praised. I know that night Satan probably watched me from afar and said, oh my gosh, I'm losing it. Her gaze is not here. She's not entertained anymore. My Lord, the covering that once was over her eyes, it's being lifted. The veil is being lifted. She can see. All right. For the first time, I literally stood and I look, and my Lord, I have to be honest. That wasn't even the first time, guys. I have to tell you about a crazy experience that happened one time on South Beach. All right. South Beach, Miami. We're going to talk about it one day. And it's not something that I can even say now because what I experienced was so crazy. All right. I've never even told anybody because it was crazy. All right. But I'm letting you know that in these clubs, in these party scenes, a lot of demonic entities are in there with you. And when you think that you're partying, and you're enjoying your time, there's so much darkness that goes on. All right. And we're not even skimming the surface about the physicality. All right. Because physically, we know that there's some deals that go down in clubs. All right. Between certain organizations, if you get what I'm saying here. Can't say everything, you understand? But there's a lot of things that are going down, some illegal activities. All right. And sometimes innocent people, not sometimes, my Lord, many times innocent people get caught in the crossfire, and that's it. They're never seen again. I know you guys saw the young lady tell her story last year, how she went to the P. Diddy party. She went to a party and P. Diddy rolled up. All right. And what happened? She said she got shot in the middle of her face. All right. Her entire nose had to be reconstructed. And you know what's crazy? She said that night before she went out, she literally could hear the Lord telling her, like, don't go. I believe that's what she said, like, not tonight. But she ignored it and she went, and look, she paid the cost. So my question to you is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is your bad habit worth it? Because some of us make it out and some of us don't. So I came here today to thank God for where I am. And I'm going to show the picture so you could see. This was the picture, the photo of me 5 years ago on today's date. All right. At my last party. And I thank God that he had to slowly but surely help me to undo the bad habit that I created. All right. Because God doesn't tempt anybody. But you know who is out here tempting us? Satan. And it is up to you guys to flee temptation. All right. And not just the first time, the second time, the third time. Even my fellas, I know a lot of times, ladies, they push themselves on you. all right? But it's not that, hey, I'm fleeing the third time and man, Marco, I did it. No, you have to continue to flee Satan, because you know what? People forget that he is cunning and a mastermind of manipulation, and he will figure out a way to get to you. But what you need to do before he gets to you is ask the Lord to change you. Ask the Lord to shift things in your life and to help you to love the things that he loves, and to help you, hallelujah, hate the things that he hates. And as you become more like Christ, all right, his son, you are going to be saved in the process. And I say process because it doesn't happen overnight. And guys, you see me here today, but God be praised, I am still going from glory to glory. But I thank God that where I am today is not where I was 5 years ago. And so I can be honest and transparent here on my channel, because nobody's going to get up and tell my story, and can't nobody tell it like me. Okay? I was that girl. All right? I was that one. All right? The littest one in the party scene. All right? But I'm thanking the Lord that that is not me today. All right? But the Do Re Mi Lo that you see today is here shining the light of God. All right? So that other people, all right, who are also in a battle can realize that they can get up out of that battle at any time. And it's not with your strength, okay? I need you to understand that. But it's with the Lord's strength. So lean on God today. Talk to God today. Ask God to help you today. And I promise that you will watch your life unfold. And as you go from glory to glory, you will become who God has called, created, and predestined for you to be. So my friends, my fellow diamonds, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I got to give all praise to the Most High God for bringing me out and for bringing me up out of the miry clay. And Lord, I pray that you do the same. Please, Lord, do the same for all those that are watching and are in need of change. Because really in life, all we want to do is grow up and glow up, and make sure that you guys are subscribed, because we're doing that here one step at a time with the Lord God Almighty. Guys, have a beautiful night, and literally let's become, all right, who the Lord has need of us to be, because that's why I decided and I agreed with God that enough was enough, because I knew that God needed me, and I am here to say that God needs you too. I'll see you soon.